next presenter, one of our keynotes, does not need an introduction, but it is our own Lieutenant Governor.
Engineering side, because it's a medical device and they're applying to
Good morning, but it is almost afternoon, or maybe it is just at noon. Oh, it's still morning over there. Okay, well, good morning. It's great to be with all of you, and I'm certainly so pleased that you are with us this morning. We have some folks who have traveled from beyond our borders, so welcome to Ohio. We really appreciate that you're here. We also have a number of distinguished guests, including Consul General Douglas George from Canada, who has been a great partner to Ohio, and that was a G, little g, not a big G, because he is a great partner, and with whom I was just discussing infrastructure earlier this week in Toronto. We have the Andhra Pradesh minister and his delegation that have traveled here all the way from India, and I had the opportunity to meet with them this morning before we came in here, and we certainly welcome you to Ohio and look forward to an ongoing relationship with you. Of course, we have Eric Spiegel, who is a Youngstown native. We won't hold that against you, Eric. No, we love Youngstown. Youngstown's a great community, although you have too many Steelers fans over there. I think you're too close to Pittsburgh. I'm a Browns fan, you know. But it's great to welcome Eric to Ohio, or back to Ohio. As you know, he is the CEO of Siemens USA, and he's doing some very innovative work in the global market with Siemens, so we are certainly looking forward to hearing from him. And John Zogby, who has been working with Ohio-G.R.E.A.T, our initiative to analyze the market opportunity for its services and to help ensure that our work is focused on the needs of our stakeholders in the business and higher education communities. So I'm very pleased that you are here to learn more about Ohio-G.R.E.A.T, and I trust that since you have been here this morning participating in the program, that I don't need to tell you what Ohio-G.R.E.A.T is, or even why you should be interested in it. But I do want to take just a moment to tell you why I care about it, why I'm proud of what has been accomplished to date, and why I believe this can be the springboard for some very exciting future opportunities. As many of you know, since Governor Kasich and I came into office in 2011, we have been extremely focused on making Ohio a jobs-friendly climate, not only for job creators, but also for the families who stay here and come here to raise their own families and have the great quality of life that we offer. We're up over 420,000 jobs in the private sector. We've cut taxes by $5 billion. And I have been leading our regulatory reform efforts through our Common Sense Initiative, or we call that CSI. Our goal is to reduce government red tape through this Common Sense Initiative, and again, make it easier to create jobs in our state. We have reviewed over 9,300 business impacting rules, and because of the work that we do, 60% of those rules have either been changed or eliminated. We have forced all of our state agencies to work more closely with the industries that they regulate to be sure that they understand how the regulations will actually work on the ground. So a little over a year ago, I was asked to participate in the kickoff for Ohio-G.R.E.A.T, and I was struck by the parallels between the issues it was created to address and the work that I've been doing with CSI. First, Ohio-G.R.E.A.T was built to address both the perception and the reality that Ohio could do more on two fronts: finding creative ways to address the workforce needs confronting our businesses and maximize opportunities for our international and native Ohio students in a way that will make our higher education system a destination for talented students. The second parallel was the communication gap that has been a barrier to many of our businesses being able to access the higher education world in a way that allowed them to get the talent that they need. At CSI, we have often identified communication gaps in the regulatory environment that have created confusion, frustration, and even excess costs. Third, Ohio-G.R.E.A.T is intended to create benefits for all parties. Similarly with CSI, although it's not always possible to find a win-win solution when we're dealing with regulatory reform and making Ohio a business-friendly regulatory state, we do find that we can get there in a common sense way without having to weaken the regulations. And I think you're seeing the same thing through through the work that Ohio-G.R.E.A.T is doing. And finally, the framework that was created for Ohio-G.R.E.A.T was to focus on practical, achievable, and concrete solutions to chip away at problems and to just demonstrate real action. It's one thing to put together an initiative, and I know Lauren is completely committed to not only talking about Ohio-G.R.E.A.T and being proud that we're a part of it, but we actually have to get something done. And I do give a lot of credit to Chancellor Carey and Lauren McGarity for focusing on where the rubber meets the road. We often hear about sweeping government programs that are designed to change the world. But unfortunately, many times they collapse under their own weight or they never really get started at all. Ohio-G.R.E.A.T is focused on identifying specific needs and seeking real solutions, similar to what we've done in our work through CSI. So given the work that I've been doing with CSI, I invited myself, I think, Lauren, to take a leadership role with Ohio-G.R.E.A.T. And maybe you and John may not have wanted me to or wouldn't have asked me to, but I really wanted to get involved, and I appreciate that they have allowed me to butt in on the work that they're doing. We recognized early on that there was going to be a learning curve for our businesses to understand how this could benefit them, and I felt like that I could use my experience through CSI to work with the business community to have these discussions. I challenged the Ohio-G.R.E.A.T team to think about what the initiative would look like in a year, what concrete steps would be in place, and how we could say that the initiative was helping our institutions, helping our students, and of course, helping our businesses. And I'm proud because I think this symposium today showcases many of those steps. And I hope that you recognize that this is real and that the upside of this initiative is significant. One aspect of Ohio-G.R.E.A.T that I want to highlight is the partnership that has developed with the Canadian government, and particularly the province of Quebec. I've been pleased over the last several years to represent Ohio in the Conference of Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Governors and Premiers Association, and in so doing, we have been increasingly attuned to the interconnectedness of our 2 provinces and 8 states. Given those existing relationships between our governments and our businesses as trading partners, Canada was a natural place to start with our Ohio-G.R.E.A.T work. Already, the results have been amazing, and we have been working with a number of stakeholders in Ohio and in Quebec on an agreement that we hope to sign in early 2017. Initially focused on the aerospace industry, the agreement will create great opportunities to collaborate on research, to share students, and to create work opportunities for students in both jurisdictions that will enhance their experiences and create short and long-term relationships and workforce opportunities that will benefit all of our businesses collectively. We fully expect that this agreement and the knowledge gained in implementing it will serve as a model to create opportunities in other industries and with other international partners. On a related note, I'm extremely pleased to be chairing the Great Lakes Governors and Premiers' new Economic Task Force. The relationships we've built and the approach we've taken with Ohio-G.R.E.A.T will enhance our efforts to identify solutions to the opportunities and challenges facing our Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence region. So in conclusion, let me congratulate the team at the Department of Higher Education for their success with Ohio-G.R.E.A.T. And let me reiterate my commitment to stay engaged and to continue to make Ohio a great place to learn, a great place to do business, and a great partner regionally and internationally. And with that, I think I can take a few questions. Lauren, we're a little behind. You may want to just two questions, or we can move on. Maybe 2 really quick questions if you have them, and if not, we'll get to our next speakers. We have 2 really great speakers that I know. I've covered it all. Lauren wrote my talking points, so I've probably covered it all. Okay, well, we really appreciate you being here. We're very excited about the opportunities that this presents for all of us in this room. And I hope that if you weren't bought into it before you walked in the door today, that you will leave here truly being bought into Ohio-G.R.E.A.T and all of the opportunities that we know it brings. Are you next? Very good. All right, Lauren's going to introduce our next speaker. Thank you.
I have to say, unscripted, that the response that we've had today and up to this day, but especially today, from businesses that are here, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, Fortune 500 companies, institutions of higher education, public and private, and all of the community organizations, we are so blessed to have an administration, particularly the Lieutenant Governor, to be able to utilize her relationships and her weight and her experience to bolster this state and everything that you all do. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And as the Lieutenant Governor indicated, our relationship with Canada is critically important, and we love our Canadian North partners, neighbors. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce to you the Canadian Consul General for Ohio, Douglas George.
Thank you, Lauren, and Lieutenant Governor, Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, chers collègues. I'm very pleased to join today at this symposium. Thank you for the invitation. It is a great honor. I've done my part. Okay. I'm joined today by my colleague Rainer Kuhnau from our Consul. Right there somewhere, Rainer. Je suis très heureux de me joindre à vous pour célébrer la coopération internationale dans l'enseignement supérieur. And I'll do the rest of it in English. The results of your recent elections have implications for the whole world. And as your closest neighbor and partner, we watched the election with almost as much interest as you did. Now, I'm sure you're all aware that Canada had a federal election last year, and it was one of the longest in our history. Canadians were quite glad once the grueling 11-week campaign had finally.
It's too long.
The newly elected Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, made Canada-U.S. relationship his #1 priority for the Foreign Affairs Department, and we've been working on that. Last week, when asked about his reaction to your election, our Prime Minister offered congratulations and stated that Canada has no closer partner, ally, and friend than the United States. We look forward to working closely with President-elect Trump, his administration, and with the U.S. Congress in the years ahead, including on issues such as trade, investment, and international peace and security. Canada and the U.S. enjoy the closest and deepest relationship of any two countries in the world. We peacefully share a continent with vast resources and great potential. We have a common defense space and the longest non-militarized border in the world. We have joint stewardship of the Great Lakes and other shared environmental spaces. We even have common sports leagues, and since this is a conference about attracting talent, I will note that because of our common sports leagues, often that means that Canadians have to cheer for the great Canadian hockey players who happen to be playing for U.S. But they're still great. I'd like to turn now to our trade and economic relationship, which is the envy of the world. Canada-U.S. trade in goods and services was valued at $671 billion. That makes it the single largest trading relationship on the planet. That means $1.8 billion of goods and services crosses the border every day, with about $1.4 million per minute. More than 9 million jobs in the U.S. depend on trade with Canada and Canadian investment in the U.S. Canada is your largest customer. We buy nearly 3 times more from the U.S. than China does. We buy more than Japan does. We might buy more than the United Kingdom does. We, in fact, buy more than China, Japan, and the United Kingdom combined. We buy more from the U.S. than all 28 countries of the European Union, soon to 27. Canada is committed to helping this trade grow. I'll give one example. It's the new bridge we're building between Detroit, Michigan, and Windsor, Ontario. This is the busiest border crossing and the biggest two-way trade relationship in the world. So last week, we've been working on this for 15 years, but last week we took a major step to move this bridge forward. And once it's completed in a few years, the new Gordie Howe International Bridge, yes, we named it after a hockey player, but it was a great Canadian who played for Detroit Red Wings. Again, cross-border. And this new bridge is going to bring increased efficiency, security, and redundancy at our most important border crossing. And I'd like to note, and Canada's paying for this bridge, just so you know. But the bridge runs both ways. So, yes, Canada is going to benefit from this bridge, but the benefits are also going to accrue to the United States, and especially to states like Ohio. Now, Canada-Ohio relationship is really significant. In 2015, our bilateral trade exceeded $33 billion between Canada and Ohio. And Lieutenant Governor, you will be happy to know that Ohio enjoyed a $7 billion trade surplus with Canada last year. We're going to see if we can fix that. There you go. We're your largest export market. Almost 40% of your foreign goods come up to Canada. You sell more to us than to the next 9 largest foreign markets combined. And jobs are always an issue in any election. Over 308,000 jobs here in Ohio depend on trade with Canada. And many of these jobs are in high-value, innovative industries such as automotive, machinery, aerospace, and it's a testament to the importance to North American manufacturing of our mutual prosperity. We want to prosper together. We want you to prosper, benefits us, and vice versa. Now, our economies are very closely interlinked, and much of what we trade is not the final product, but the intermediate product. It goes into another product, which ultimately is the final product. Some auto parts cross the border 6 or 7 times before they're put into the final vehicle. And that vehicle might then cross back to the other side to get sold, or it might be exported overseas. We build things together, and together we compete with the rest of the world. But if we want to be successful, we need to be innovative, and we need to build to the highest quality. An important part of this trade depends on having highly trained, talented people to design and build the products and provide the services our population and the rest of the world needs. And everywhere I go, I talk to leaders, business leaders, academia, and others, and they say one of their biggest challenges, if not the biggest, is finding the right people with the right skills to fill the important jobs. Whether it's in the executive suite, engineering design, machine maintenance, or down the shop floor, everyone is looking for talent. And often it's hard to find. And I think we've heard speakers earlier today talking about the difficulty. So helping to train, develop, and retain talent is an area where both industry and government have key roles to play. And I'm pleased to say that both Ohio and Canada have gotten the message. Now, I get to brag about Canada. Lieutenant Governor got to brag about Ohio. Among world-leading G7 countries, Canada has the highest rate of all countries in the G7 with colleges and university degrees, representing more than half of our population between 25 and 64 years old. The next closest country is Japan, and they're 6 percentage points lower at 46%. Across our country, all levels of government are working with industry, universities, colleges, research institutes to prepare our young people for the increasingly competitive world. I was pleased to attend a panel earlier today here, and I think it gives a really good example of how it works. There was some talk about the aerospace sector in Canada, much of which is concentrated in the city of Montreal and surrounding areas. You may have noticed that I'm not very Canadian here. We had Denis Faubert, who's a key figure in aerospace research. He's the president of CRE.A.T, which is an aerospace research consortium of Quebec, and C.R.E.A.T, international counterpart. They also had their colleague from Provence, Marquise, speak. And what they talked about was, in some ways, our two aerospace industries, both in Ohio and in Canada, and we're starting to deepen the ties between us. We're looking for new ways to succeed and compete together. And so the partnership with government, back Ohio Aerospace Institute, K-A.T, Jobs Ohio, and others, and as mentioned, this relationship building is underway. We've had 2 successful research summits. Students are beginning between researchers, and we hope early next year to take the next major step. But one thing about aerospace is this is an area where you need really skilled, talented people. And you need a continuous pipeline of these people coming. And you need them at all stages, from people who come up with the new, do the research, to develop the new designs, to engineer the new planes, to build the parts, and finally to assemble them. I'm happy to say that all of this, the only place in the world that all of this is done, within about a 20-mile radius, is in Montreal. But what you heard earlier is how we're building this pipeline. And it's really interesting that it's not just PhD researchers. Right? For all the doctors in my nothing against PhDs, some of them are my favorite people. But we're reaching out to people right at the bottom, at the beginning, before they're even looking for a job. The high schools in the area, they let the students know what's going on. And there's a range of training, everything from on-the-job training to special educational research opportunities, CEGEP, the equivalent community colleges in Quebec, universities, research programs are all working together to help develop and continue to populate the pipeline of talent so that our aerospace industry can continue to thrive. And this is just one example of many things being done in Canada. I thought it was a good one today. We also have Canada's answer to Silicon Valley, which is the Waterloo, Toronto, Hamilton Research Triangle. One that unfortunately has only one hockey team, and we're trying for a second. But we have world-leading research taking place all across Canada in areas that are relevant to universities or industries here in Ohio. We want to increase cooperation across the board. Because no single business, research institute, state, province, or country has a monopoly on good ideas. By working together, combining our ideas and talent, we can not only keep up with the rest of the world, but we can lead. That's what we want to do. We want to be leading the world. So, in conclusion, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to address you today. My colleagues and I at the Consulate and at the Quebec office are committed to working with you, Lieutenant Governor, your officials, your industry, and our colleagues in Quebec and other provinces to ensure that we can grow and prosper together. Thank you for your time and attention. Merci beaucoup.